Hello, friends. I hope you all are doing great and staying safe at your own place. I, C.A. Pujin Kapadia, welcome you all on my today's lecture on the subject Banking Paper 6. Friends, as you all are very well aware, today we are going to start with a fresh topic, a fresh unit, the name of which is depicted on your screen. The name read as Payment Bank. Yes, friends, today we are going to start with the topic of payment bank. Before starting the topic, I would just like you to let you know that what all are the points that we are going to cover in this particular unit. We are going to start with introduction, under which we are basically going to look into how payment bank has been started in India, like what all are the entities which have pushed the payment banking system in India. Next, what we are going to look into is the meaning of payment bank, under which I am going to explain you guys what is payment bank and at the same time what is the objective of payment bank. Third topic that we are going to deal into is features or characteristics of payment bank, under which we are going to study three important points. First is going to be what are the requirements of the payment bank, like what is the minimum share capital required, what is the FDI ratio permissible, etc. Second topic that we are going to study under features is what are the activities that a payment bank can perform. So what can they do is the second part of this particular topic. And the third part is going to be what payment bank cannot do. Like they cannot give loans, they cannot issue credit cards. So we are going to study a list of what are the requirements for the payment bank, what are the activities they can do, and what are the activities they cannot do. I hope you are clear with this. Okay. Next point that we are going to study over here is challenges which are faced by payment bank. Like what all are the difficulties that a payment bank is facing or will be facing in the near future. Next part is opportunities. What all are the opportunities available for a payment bank to grow and establish a particular position in the Indian banking system. And at the end, we are going to discuss what is the future of payment bank as a whole, especially in our own country, like considering the present scenario as well as the upcoming times, how payment bank is going to deal with it. What are the opportunities? What are the threats? What can be its futures? Fine. Those points will be discussed in that particular topic. So broadly, we are going to deal with all these topics in this particular unit. So, without wasting any further time, I would like to start with the first topic, that is introduction. First point I have written over here is payment bank came into existence as the result of recommendation by Nachiket More Committee. First of all, you need to remember this particular name of which committee has basically recommended the establishment of payment bank. Answer will be Nachiket More Committee. I hope you are clear with this. Okay, fine. Second point. This committee was formed by the then RBI Governor, Mr. Raghuram Rajan. I hope you might have heard his name. Fine. So Mr. Raghuram Rajan had formed this particular committee on 23rd September 2013. So when the committee was established or formed on 2013, under the name of, what was the actual or original name of the committee? Committee on Comprehensive Financial Services for Small Business and Low Income Households. So I can say over here the basic focus was on the small businesses and on the people or households which are falling into the lower income category. As a result of which, I can say the outcome or the payment bank came into existence out of the work of this particular committee. Fine, that we are going to deal in further slides, but basically in these 2 points we need to remember. First, payment bank is the outcome of the recommendation of which committee? Answer is Nachiket More Committee. When was this committee formed? In 2013. Under whose, you can say, governorship? It was RBI Governor Mr. Raghuram Rajan. So the committee was led by Mr. Nachiket More. But at that particular point of time, who was the RBI Governor? RBI Governor was Mr. Raghuram Rajan. It was formed in 2013. What was the basic focus? The basic focus was on the small business and low income households. Next point is major focus of committee was on financial inclusion in India. Now you need to remember this word, friends. Financial inclusion. It basically means it is the effort by the banking industry to reach each and every citizen of the country in basic financial services like banking services, investment services, and insurance services. So basically, whenever I'm talking about financial inclusion, I want to cover each and every citizen of my country from big players to a small middle, or you can say small lower income group people, so that I can extend my facilities to each and every citizen of my country under which aspects? Under basically three aspects. First is banking facilities, second is insurance facilities, and third is investment facilities. So whenever I'm talking about financial inclusion, I'm basically focusing on the three broad areas. There's banking services, insurance services, and investment services. So the basic focus of this committee was of course small business and low income households, but it was mainly aiming at financial inclusion, which means it was trying to extend all the three services to all the classes of the society, especially the lower strata of the society. And the last point I've written over here is the report was submitted by the committee in January 2014, which along with other things recommended formation of small banks and payment banks. So this was not particularly formed just for the formation and doing research of payment bank. No, it was basically formed with the focus of comprehensive financial services like financial inclusion in India. So it has given many recommendations in its report in January 2014, of which one point was formation of payment bank. I hope you are clear with this particular introduction. Things to remember from this particular slide is first, which was the name of the committee? It was led by Mr. Nachiket More. When was this committee formed? In 2013. When who was the governor? Mr. Raghuram Rajan. Main focus, small business and low income households. Major focus on financial inclusion, which basically focuses on the three services, that is banking services, insurance services, and investment services. When did they submit their report? In January 2014, which gave many recommendations, of which one was formation of payment bank. I'm just giving you a moment, take a quick overview on all the 4 points that I have mentioned over here. Well, friends, I hope you have taken a quick overview on all the 4 points. So let's move ahead on the introduction part. Now, you need to remember this particular date. On 19th August 2015. So again, taking you into the recap, when was the committee formed? In 2013. When did they submit their report? In 2014. And now we are into 2015. On 19th August 2015, RBI, that is Reserve Bank of India, gave in principle licenses to 11 entities to launch payment banks. So you can remember like this, that RBI has given permission to set up payment bank officially. It has approved, fine, to how many entities? To 11 entities, so that they can start their own payment banks in our country. When was this permission given? On 19th August 2015. So you can remember like this. Committee was formed in 2013. Committee submitted its report in 2014. And when did RBI give the permission? In 2015. It was 19th August 2015 when the in principle license was been given to 11 entities. Now let's see the names of the 11 entities. First is NSDL. It is National Securities Depository Limited. Second is Reliance Industries. Third is Aditya Birla Nuvo. Fourth is Airtel M-Commerce. Fifth is Department of Post, that is Postal Department. Next is Fino Paytech. Seventh, Tech Mahindra. Eighth was Vodafone M-Pesa. Ninth was Cholamandalam Distribution Services. 10th is Paytm, and last is Sun Pharma. So basically, friends, this 11 entities were given permission. They were given in principle licenses so that they could launch their own payment banks in our country. As of now, it won't be possible to remember all the names for you guys. So on this slide, I would like to request you to remember two important points. That RBI has given approval when on 19th August 2015 to how many entities? To 11 entities. Please remember these two things. Okay. Now, this is the list of active payment banks in India till date. Fine. So as per the latest data, how many payment banks are actually active, or I can say actually functioning? This is the name of those payment banks. Aditya Birla Payments Bank. Second is Airtel's Payment Banks. Third is India Post Payments Bank. Fourth is Fino Payments Bank. Fifth is Jio Payments Bank. Sixth is Paytm Payments Bank. And last is NSDL Payments Bank. I'm just giving you a minute, friends. Kindly go through all the names which are written over here, because you need to remember this. As such, if the question comes or a short note comes on the topic of payment banks, you need to write at least certain names out of this. As a result of which, I'd like you to request that please remember certain names out of the 7 names which are listed. This is the list of the payment banks which are working as of now in our country. These names were 11 entities which were given permission कि अगर आपको start करने, you can start the payment banks, but of which as of now which 7 payment banks are active? The 7 banks which are stated on your slide. So please take a quick view on this particular slide. Well, friends, I hope you read all the 7 names and tried to remember all of them. So just remember, the RBI has given in principle licenses to 11 entities. Fine. So the permission was granted to 11 entities. When it was granted? On 19th August 2015. As on date, how many payment banks are active? There are 7 payment banks which are active. Now, if I ask you, friends, have you noticed one common point in all the 7 names? Take a quick view. Did you get it? Yes. You would say, sir, all the names are ending with the 2 words, that is payments bank. So as we all are very well aware, like if there is any public limited company, the name of public limited company ends with the word limited. If it is a private limited, it ends with private limited. In the same way, friends, if it is a payment bank, it should have the last 2 words as payments bank. So it is basically one of the condition that again we are going to study in our requirement section. As of now, what you need to remember is the name of the 7 active banks, payment banks in India. I hope you are clear with this. Okay, fine. Next slide says meaning of payment bank. This can be more likely be a 2-mark question which may come up to in your examination. So you need to write this particular slide and explain certain points that I'm going to go in detail. Let's read out what is written over here first. A payment bank is like any other bank, but operating on a smaller scale without involving any credit risk. So basically this definition or meaning is talking about 3 important points. First point is, it is just like any other bank. Fine. So जो काम सारी banks करती है, the same work is being done by the payment bank, but it is operating on a smaller scale. It is not so voluminous. It is not so having as much business volume as normal banks are having. So this is a type of bank basically. It is operating at a smaller scale. And the most important word that you need to remember in this particular point is that I have underlined also, without involving any credit risk. Now, first of all, let me explain you what is credit risk. Friends, credit risk means whensoever I am giving my funds to any person on credit, fine, so that he will repay the same after a certain time period. So as of now, what I have done is I have given my funds on credit. उधार पे अगर मैं किसी को कुछ दे रहा हूँ, then if he is not going to pay me that amount back, it is the risk involved at the time of lending something or at the time of giving my money on credit. As a result of which, the risk of non-payment by the borrower or the person to whom you have given your funds on credit is known as credit risk. In short, I can give you a simple example from the viewpoint of accounting that you all know: bad debts. Right? What was bad debts? Whenever you are you are selling your product on credit, fine, so you are not getting payment as of now, you are going to get payment in future. So what you do, you sell your goods on credit. Now out of the entire sales, there are certain debtors who may fail to do the payment, so we recognize it in my books of account as bad debts. Now that recognition of bad debts is nothing, it is your credit risk. So what is credit risk? Basically the risk that the person to whom I have lended my funds on credit, fine, he is failing to repay that amount back. This is the risk involved in lending activity. Now what is written over here? Let's take a look over here. Payment bank is like any other bank, but operating on a smaller scale without involving any credit risk, which means it is not at all involving any kind of credit risk, which means it is not lending only, it is not giving funds on credit only. You all have studied that bank has basically two functions. One is to accept the deposits and second is to give advances or lending. But payment bank is doing as of now, as per this particular line, only one function, that is accepting the deposits. It is not lending any funds to the borrowers. As a result of which, this is the most important point you guys need to remember, that payment bank is in a nature of general bank, which is operating at a smaller scale, but it is not involving itself in any kind of credit risk, which means it is not giving its fund on credit to any of the borrowers. If I want to say it in simple terms, I will read out the second point, which is written over here. It can carry out most banking operations. Please mark the word written over here, most. So it cannot perform all the banking operations. It can perform most of them. Fine. So we are going to study what they can and what they cannot. But as of now, you need to remember, payment bank can carry out most banking operations, but it cannot advance loans or issue credit cards. Most important characteristics that you need to remember for payment banks. A payment bank cannot advance loan, cannot give loans, fine, or it cannot issue credit cards. What is credit card? Basically, you are giving loan for 45 days to someone, fine, they can scratch their card, use the funds up to a certain limit and pay you back after 30 days or 40 days, whatsoever may be the time period. In short, payment bank is not involving itself in any kind of credit risk. Why? Because it is not lending, not advancing fund to the customers, and at the same time, it is not issuing credit cards. I hope I am totally clear with this particular points which are mentioned over here. Fine. Okay. Let's move to the second part of this slide. Objective of setting up payment bank as per RBI guidelines. RBI has stated in its guidelines like what was the objective to set up payment banks in India. As we are very well aware, RBI or the governor has appointed or formed the committee in 2013. Which committee? Nachiket More committee. In 2014, they have submitted their report and RBI has given in principle approval in the year 2015. Now, what was the basic objective for setting up or giving this in principle approval? Let's see to it. The main objective was to further financial inclusion. I have already explained this word to you guys. Financial inclusion is basically focusing upon reaching of financial services to each and every strata of the society, like from the top earner section to the lower income strata of the society. Each and every person should be benefited by the financial services. Now, what are the basic financial services? As I have told you, it basically includes three important services: banking services, insurance services, and investment services. So let's see it again. What is the objective? To further financial inclusion by providing two important points: First is providing small savings accounts, that is savings account up to a limited amount of balance, that is known as small savings account. And second is payments or remittance services, that is ease out the services or the fund transfer requirements. Remittance means to transfer your money from one place to another. If I'm sending my money to someone, I would use the word I'm remitting my funds. As a result of which, under financial inclusion, what RBI was supposed to provide, they were focusing on two important points. That they want to provide financial inclusion by providing saving account which are small nature, that is small savings account, and second is payments or the remittance services. To whom? That is again important. To the migrant labor force. What is migrant labor force? The laborers who keep on migrating to earn their livelihood. Like let's take the example of the workers who are involved in the construction field. Now, they are basically migrating from one side to another where the construction is actually going on. So they are nothing, they can be termed as migrant labor workforce. Second is, for example, in Surat city, there is a huge diamond market, or you can say textile market. Now, many people, many workforce are belonging to the Orissa or Bihar who are coming here to earn their livelihood. So this workforce is termed as migrant labor workforce. So basically, this financial inclusion was focusing on migrant labor workforce. Second is low income households, that is family having their income below a certain amount. Third is small businesses, other unorganized sector. And last is any other user. In short, there was the main goal of financial inclusion, that is including each and every strata of the society by providing three important services: banking service, investment service, and insurance service. How they are supposed to be provided? By providing small savings account and by payments and remittance services. And to whom? To all the migrant workers or the low income household, small businesses, unorganized sector. So this was the objective of setting up payment bank. Like what the payment bank is going to look after. It is going to take care of financial inclusion. How? By two important points. One is they are going to open savings account. I would use the word small savings account. I'll just let you know, which we are going to again cover in the later slide. A person, that is a particular account, can have maximum deposit balance up to rupees 1 lakh if he is having an account with payments bank. In short, there is an upper limit which is fixed. You cannot have more than balance than rupees 1 lakh. So these are terms as small savings account. Fine. Above 1 lakh, you cannot deposit any money. So what is the maximum upper limit? It is 1 lakh rupees. As a result of which, payment bank was going to focus mainly on two things. One is small savings account, and second is payments or remittance services, that is to ease fund transfer from one person to another, especially among this sector of the society. I'm just giving you a moment. Take a quick overview on the three important points which are stated over here. And please take a note, friends. If it is asked for a 2 marks, you need to write this entire slide as your 2 marks answer. Go through it, friends. Well, friends, I hope you have taken the overview of this particular slide too. So just let me recall what we have covered today till now is, first was introduction, which was the name of the committee, Nachiket More Committee. Fine. So the person who led the committee was Mr. Nachiket More, under whose governorship it was formed, under the governorship of Mr. Raghuram Rajan. When? In 2013. Major focus on small business and low income households. What was the main goal? Financial inclusion. As I have explained, financial inclusion means to cover each and every strata of the society for basically three financial services: banking, insurance, and investment. The report was submitted in January 2014, which had several recommendations, one of which was establishing payment bank. So Nachiket Moore committee was at the base of existence of payment bank. Then RBI in 2015 have given in principle license to 11 entities to launch their own payment banks. As of now, there are totally 7 payment banks which are active. You need to try to remember the names of these 7 banks, and just remember friends, at the end you are going to find a common word, that if it is a payment bank, its name is going to end by the words payments bank. Then we have taken the meaning, under which we have understood that most of the banking functions are going to be implemented by payment bank also, but at a smaller scale. But it is not going to involve itself in any kind of credit risk, which means it is not going to advance money or grant loans to any person. It is not going to issue credit cards. What is the main objective as stated in RBI guidelines? Financial inclusion. How? By two things. First is by opening small savings account, and second is by rendering payments or remittance services. To whom? To all the sector which are stated over here. I hope I am clear with the content that I have explained you today. So now let's take a quick test your knowledge series. You will be given 5 MCQs. You need to mark the correct answers along with you within a time of 25 to 30 seconds each. After completion of all the 5 MCQs, we are going to discuss the correct answers. I hope you are all set for the same. So your time starts now. Well, friends, I hope you are ready with your answers. So let's check them one by one. The first question was, RBI gave in principle approval to start with the payment banks in the year. We are very well aware. Committee was formed in 2013. They submitted the report in 2014 and RBI gave the approval in 2015. So correct answer is option C, 2015. Second was, RBI gave in principle approval to start with the payment banks to how many entities? As we have seen in our slide, it was 11 entities. So correct answer is option C, 11. Third is, payment bank is the outcome of which committee? As I have told you, it is an outcome of Nachiket Moore committee. The governor at that point of time was Mr. Raghuram Rajan, but the committee was led by Nachiket Moore. So it is outcome of which committee? Correct answer is option C, Nachiket Moore committee. Next is, objective of payment bank is to further. We have understood it. Correct answer is option B, financial inclusion. It is to cover each and every strata of the society by focusing on forwarding 3 important services: banking, insurance, and investment. So correct answer is option B, financial inclusion. And last is, Payment bank cannot. Payment bank can do almost many kind of banking functions, but it cannot involve itself in taking any kind of credit risk, which means it cannot grant loans, it cannot issue credit cards. So correct answer to this question is option D. It cannot grant loans. I hope you all might have got all the answers correctly. So with this, I, CA Poojan Kapadia, thank you all for your patient listening and hope to see you soon in my upcoming lecture. Thank you, friends.